want to tell you a true story about how an A320 was unable to stop on the runway even though they had 2,800 meters of runway available. This accident happened in 1993 and the aircraft was flying from Frankfurt, Germany to Warsaw, Poland. It was a line training flight with the left seat pilot undergoing training with an instructor pilot that is seated on the right. The left seat pilot was the pilot flying. The left seat pilot was 47 years old with 12,778 hours with 1,440 hours on the A320, and the instructor pilot had 11,361 hours with 1,595 hours on the A320, and this training flight was conducted because the trainee had not been flying for 90 days. There were 64 passengers on board and the aircraft was cleared to land on runway 11 ILS approach. As the aircraft was approaching the runway, ATC informed the pilots that there was a wind chill on the final approach. The wind was also given at 160 degrees at 25 knots. Just before touchdown, however, the crosswind changes to tailwind, so now the pilots have a problem. The aircraft approach speed is now increased to 172 knots and the aircraft then proceeded to float and eat up a lot of runway. By the time the right main landing gear touched down, the aircraft has eaten about 770 meters of runway, touching down at 2,530 feet from the runway threshold. Left main landing gear touches down 9 seconds later, and so now both main landing gears touch down, the spoiler starts to deploy and reverse thrust was selected. The auto brake starts to work 4 seconds later when the wheel rotation is more than 72 knots. Let's refresh our memory on the AirBoss auto brake function. Auto brake low send signals to the brakes 4 seconds after ground spoilers deploy so that the aircraft can decelerate at 1.7 meters per second per second. On the other hand, auto brake medium works 2 seconds after spoilers deploy to decelerate the aircraft at 3 meters per second per second. The aircraft could not stop in time. As the aircraft was fast approaching the end of the runway, the pilots then turned the aircraft off the runway to the right. The aircraft rolled for 90 meters before hitting the runway lights with the left wing. The aircraft hit an embankment and a fire started in the cabin. The training captain died on impact and one passenger died from the smoke after he lost consciousness. There were a total of 56 injuries. After investigation, it was concluded that the pilots did not receive up-to-date wind parameters. The A320 back then also had a computer logic that only allowed ground spoilers and thrust reversers only when the compression load was at least 6.3 tons on each main landing gear, and so the combined load of 12 tons on both main landing gears was not reached. Also, the aircraft wheel speed had to be more than 72 knots for auto brake to work. But in this case, the aircraft left wheel hydroplaned due to the wet runway. As you can see in this picture, red indicates the main landing gear have not touched down. Blue circle indicates the left gear is hydroplaning because of the wet runway, and auto brake is only activated when the aircraft is at 1,525 meters from the runway threshold, more than half of the runway already used up, and so two criteria needed to be fulfilled. After the accident, Airbus decided to reduce the compression value from 6.3 tons to just 2 tons per main landing gear, and the moral of the story is to keep in mind of your V-approach speed and your landing distance available, especially during adverse conditions. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye.